Hey, welcome back to Heavily Motivated. Thanks for tuning in. Today, I'm going to take my sons to this Confederate cemetery and give them a lesson. Being pro-black doesn't make you anti-white, but in order for them to know why they need to achieve, I have to really teach them our past and the history and what we've been through. So go ahead, join the lesson, stay heavily motivated, hit the like button.
All right, listen. We're shooting here. What's that say right there?
Confederacy soldiers.
From the Confederate soldier. We're at a monument that was erected and dedicated to the Confederate soldiers. Y'all come stand up so we could be on this camera good. We're in Spotsylvania County. Come closer to me. At a monument that was erected and dedicated to the Confederate soldiers inside of a Confederate cemetery. It's huge. There's tombstones here everywhere with headstones and markings, and it's manicured, flags up, the trees are trimmed. But let me ask you a question. When we went to the slave cemeteries, how many tombstones you see?
0.
How many? Say it loud.
0.
Did the slave cemeteries look like this?
No.
Where you see? Did you see headstones at the slave cemetery?
Mm-mm.
All right. So what we have here is a Confederate cemetery. Hold the phone so I can talk. So do y'all know who the Confederate Army was? You had two armies. You had the Confederate and the Union. You got that? And they was at war. So you had one side that wanted to keep slaves, and the other side didn't want to have slaves. So which side do you think wanted slaves? Talk loud. Say it loud.
Confederate.
The Confederate side wanted slaves. So during the Civil War, if we had the Confederate Army fighting the Union Army, the Confederate Army was fighting for what?
Slave.
For slavery. And so where did that mean black people would have been with the Confederate?
Slaves.
Would have been slaves, would have been on the plantation. The Confederacy lost, obviously, because we're not slaves anymore, right?
Yes.
All right, so I brung y'all here again on this journey to show y'all the importance of what?
Education.
Say it loud.
Education.
Say it louder.
Education.
All right, what is the importance of what? Say it. The importance of what, Trey?
Education.
All right. Why is education so important? Why?
So you don't know it.
If you don't know it, you can be quickly enslaved. You can be enslaved again by several things. It just doesn't have to be a person enslaving you. You can be enslaved to drugs. You can be enslaved to a relationship. You can be financially enslaved. You can be enslaved to habits. You can be enslaved to mentally enslaved by depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. Stand up. Keep your head up. We're here at this Confederate monument. You know what this is? We had a Confederate monument right here that's a monument for memorializing people that fought to keep us in slavery. So when they talk about this in school, when they talk about this in y'all history lessons, I want you to tell your teachers that you've been to a Confederate cemetery and you saw how nice it was, okay? I want you to also tell them that you've been to a slave cemetery, famous slave cemetery, and let them know how many tombstones you saw there. Ask them why. It's very important. Let's see. Education is very important. The way you got to learn how to read is very important. You look right here. This is erected and dedicated May the 12th, 1918 by the Spotsylvania chapter of the Daughters of the Confederacy, Confederated Southern Memorial Association, and citizens of Spotsylvania County, to commemorate and perpetuate the valor, patriotism of the sons of Spotsylvania County, Virginia, and other Confederate soldiers who repose in this cemetery. People say we can't wait for the South to rise again. If they do rise, I hope slavery don't rise with them. And Spotsylvania County is real unique because in Kunta Kinte, in the movie Roots, Kunta Kinte was sold to a plantation in Spotsylvania County. So this is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to go back to school. I want y'all to be more attentive in class. Listen to me. Pay attention to what I'm saying. I want you to be more attentive. Hold your head up, Trey. I want you to read. I want you to work on your reading comprehension. All right? I want you to be a prize student. When you step in the classroom, you have to be the smartest person in the classroom. When you step into a room, you have to be the smartest person in the room. All right? I want y'all to start getting mentally strong. I want you to get physically strong. Y'all gotta start being the strongest person when y'all step in places. The reason why is because we come from a lineage of people who've been through a lot, but they never stopped, they never quit. So we're not quitting on you. I don't want you to quit on yourself. All right? You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
So what are y'all gonna do when you go back to school?
Be the first class.
Attend.
Huh?
Attend.
But I need you to be the smartest person in the classroom. Say it loud.
The smartest person in the classroom.
You say it.
Be the smartest.
Loud, screaming.
Be the smartest person in the classroom.
You say it.
Smartest person in the classroom.
And you're gonna be the strongest too, right?
Mm-hmm. Already is.
You already are? Why you need to be smart?
So you don't go into slavery again.
Say it loud.
So you won't be a slave
To anything.
to anything.
All right. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is our mission. Peace.
One thing about learning something, nobody can take it from you. And that's what I'm trying to stress to my children, is that you have to learn. You have to read. You have to be intellectual savvy. Your reading comprehension has to be up to par. Your mathematical skills have to be up to par. And know where we came from. Know what the people fought for. Know the sacrifices that were made for you to get the education.